Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm joining Sabrina from Scrappy Tales Crafts in a celebration video hop for her 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. So huge congratulations to my friend Sabrina for making it to 3,000 subscribers. It's a really big deal. I'm going to create a Slimline card for you today, and I want to have a tropical theme. I'm using some products from Honeybee Stamps, who is one of the sponsors of Sabrina's video hop. So be sure to check out Honeybee Stamps links down in the description. I'm going to start out by using 3 different panels, and these are just standard size 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panels. And I'm adding some different colors of green distress oxide ink. My goal is to have 3 different ink panels that have different shades of green so that I can create die cuts that will kind of look like different levels of foliage. For example, in nature, all the greens are not going to be exactly the same green. They're going to be just a little bit different. And also, if I want to create the look of depth, then I want some of the greens in the background to be deeper and some of the greens in the front to be a little more bright and shiny. After adding a few little water drops, I didn't like the huge contrast that the water drops left, and especially with leaf, making different greenery die cuts. So I added a little bit more of that lightest green back onto them. Now you can see here I've got lots and lots and lots of die cuts to use. I'm not sure that I'm going to use every single die cut, but I came very close. Now I'm going to add some very subtle coloring to these beautiful little flowers that are in this really big size die set from Honeybee Stamps. I have all of the products linked in the video description for you to be able to get everything, all the names to everything that matches up. So I'm going to do the subtle coloring by first putting down some pink along the lines where the flowers meet, and then add a little dot of red, and then use that 0 colorless blender Copic marker to go in and kind of let it fade out. And then that's the top layer of the flower. And then in the bottom layer of the flower, I'm adding just color that will peek through to the front. The die cut of the top of the flower pair has a very deep cut that's going to allow some of the base of the flower to show through. So I'm using that to my advantage and letting some of that color come up through the front. Now I'm going to use a new Slimline die from Honeybee Stamps and secure it in place on my panel. I find that whenever I'm using very long Slimline dies, that it helps them to stay secure in my die cut machine in the sandwich in order to not pop around, because sometimes they pop around and then I get a crazy wonky cut. So just a couple of pieces of washi tape will save me a lot of frustration in the long end. Now I'm taking the negative piece of that die that was from Honeybee, the Slimline eyelets, and I'm going to pop it right back in place after I've added some color. So I'm going to add some beautiful sunset colors, and check it out. When that red and blue meet and make that purple, that's like the ink blending magic that we all love, isn't it? So cool and so easy to make. So I'm going to add that colored panel first onto my card base. And this is a Slimline card base that measures 8.5 inches long by 3.5 inches tall after it's already folded and scored. I found that it's easier for me to get this outside piece, the one with the little eyelet die cut part, to be straight if I put that first panel in, and then just arrange this little frame area outside of it. I tried it a couple of different ways. I've used this many times now, and it just never seems to want to stay straight. So whatever works best for you, but I have found that if I put that negative space back in first, and then it's easier just to lay it down on top. Now I'm going to start adding in all these wonderful, beautiful greenery die cuts. I'm just tucking them in behind one and the other, and I'm trying to get some of those really darker greens down into the background. And I decided, instead of turning the card where it's long ways up and down, to turn it side by side, because I have so many greenery pieces that I don't know, I'm just thinking that this would work out better. And I think it came out best in the long run, since there's so much greenery. And that way it looks a little more natural with the flowers. So the way that I am putting everything down onto the card front is I'm trying to keep all the majority of the greenery inside the line of where the colored panel is, and only allow very few pieces to hang over. But the pieces that do hang over onto the white frame, I want them to make a statement and bring the eye. You can see on the far left, there's a piece of that long leaf that's sticking out, and the same thing on the right. And then I'll place another one that is going to do the same thing on the bottom. This is a lot of die cuts. There's not a lot of stamping to this card, but that's okay. Sometimes I think that it's cool just to grab a whole bunch of die cuts and have fun putting them together, sort of like a puzzle. So I'm tucking in all these little pieces, and I even cut one of the little leaves off in order to let the sentiment stand up a little bit more. Now I'm going to add a red gem onto the center of each one of these flowers, and this is a new gem stickers set called Hot Tropics from Honeybee Stamps, and they work out perfectly. I hope that you will continue to hop along and celebrate, and if you will subscribe and comment for a chance to be entered in the giveaway from all of these wonderful and generous sponsors for Sabrina at Scrappy Tales Crafts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.